What you have for breakfast today?
Oh, I eat at least 2 breakfasts every day of competition because I know that during the days it's not going to be that easy to eat a lot. So I had eggs, potatoes, sausage, bacon, French toast, and fruit.
Coffee? You drink coffee?
I had tea, water, and orange juice.
I was talking to PC because I'm with PC and he doesn't drink coffee, so I walked to a coffee shop and get myself a coffee. And then I asked you before if you drink coffee, but I've never seen you actually drink a coffee.
I never drank coffee until I was, I think, 33 years old. And then in the last 3 years, I have drank coffee, but for some reason, I came back from the Saudi Arabia and Istanbul trip, and I just lost my desire to drink it. I have been drinking like 1 or 2 a day every day for several months, and I've probably had 2 total coffees since then. And now I almost feel like I drink coffee the way I do drink beer, which is just like if I'm out with a friend and we're having a coffee, I'll have a coffee for the sake of it, you know, but I don't really seek it out. 50% of the points available, 3 workouts that are the 3 shortest workouts, and they're a little bit different nature. Power output matters on all 3 of these to a certain degree. You need to be strong. We talked about the row, obviously the snatch, and those lunges are crushing some people. So if you can capitalize on all 3 of these, no matter where you are on the leaderboard, it's possible to make a 10 to 15 spot jump in one day. Yeah, like everyone thought, oh, 6 workouts, 2, 2, 2. I wasn't so sure because of the way the teams were laid in there with only 2 days and 5 workouts. But the fact that they said, here are the workouts, but we haven't given you the schedule for the day, I like that. Obviously, semifinal, so week by week we learn about it, but the concept is, I think, is cool.
Yeah, I got that wrong here. So she's been street time, and she got second.
That was super excited.
Go! Fighting. Especially yesterday. I think I heard one of the girls yesterday said, that, hey, get out of our heat. And you were like, I'm trying.
The last heat of the women just did the row handstand walk, and that was wild. I mean, Daniel Brandon, I think, took 8th or 9th overall on that workout. I think the world obviously picked her to win. She hasn't lost a handstand walking workout in a while. Lawson wasn't even inside the top 10, I don't think, and she was like 5th in that heat. Again, just speaking to the depth and talent of this field, and on any given workout, nothing is guaranteed. I think, based on what I saw, that there were at least 5 women in that heat that finished outside of the top 24 on the workout. So a landmine was just thrown into the women's leaderboard again. Half of the women in the final heat finished outside the top 24.
3 seconds, did you see? 51, 51, 51, 48, 0.8, 0.5, 0.4.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So many gymnasts.
I mean, like Danielle hasn't lost a handstand walk workout.
But it wasn't a handstand walk workout, it's a fucking rowing workout. If you're fast on your
workout.
It was a
if
rowing
you're
workout.
fast on your hands, but you can.
I would have done better.
If you're fast on your hands, you can get away.
151, and I'm not even.
You have to win this workout. You have to be good at both.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
But more rowing. I think more rowing. I think more rowing. But if you're a speedster handstand walk, you're staying in the game.
It's one or the other.
You're staying in the game.
Over 3 weeks now, I've heard, especially the women, it seems, get off that workout and be like, my legs are trash from that workout. Which is not what people are seeing, right?
No.
Because
How do those times compare
really
against other
perceive how
regions?
hard the row is.
Yeah.
We just see how fast it is.
Absolutely.
And 800 for a girl and 800 for a guy.
Oh, that's not safe.
So that's what I'm saying. The workout, I just talked to Adler because as soon as I got off, I went to see Adler and said, hey, the rowing. And he says, yeah, remember, girls 800 and guys 800 doesn't have the same effect.
We're putting Canadian subtitles in this?
What do you mean,
No. It's a Canadian creator.
How do those times compare against the other regions?
Now,
There's more Canadians here than Americans.
it's good for certain.
Wow, it's good.
Sì. Borrow? No.
Comment. Oh, it's good, it's good. How was it going to France? Did you go, right? You went, I saw.
Yeah, I actually haven't been in France since high school. I was in Strasbourg and Paris. So this is obviously a new city to be in. And back then I actually did speak French. But it was great.
You hung with my friend Greg Lantou.
Greg Lantou.
He's like 5 minutes away from me.
He's a great guy.
I know.
It's nice to see him. We
really cool.
figured out we've worked in 7 countries together now.
I saw the post. That's why I said Greg. That's pretty cool. He's a good guy.
He always does the like anything that's
Atlas.
French lowdown. Always.
He's
It
their
makes
guy.
sense. He
He's
can do
their
both.
guy.
Yeah.
So well.
And that's in the country where it's really important to have someone who speaks both languages. Doesn't have to be both of them, but at least one needs to be.
You have to. I like the girl in her interview that said,
Such fast
Of course, yeah.
Oh man, I know. She's like, ah, mais on s'en fout de l'anglais. Remember Claudia Gluck? I just laughed. We were watching it, and I just.
Paraphrase, we don't care about English.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's understandable because they said go in English first, and then she started in French and said, oh yeah, I kind of started in French, but it's understandable. It's her native language. So.
And lean into it. You're not going to have your rookie season in front of your home crowd on your home turf.
Never
Playing,
happen,
It's a perfect storm. Take advantage of it. So
cool.
anyway, great start to the day.
Thank you.
The leaderboard, I
Thank you.
haven't looked at it yet, but that was a landmine. I mean, everything's going to be
Everything's gonna, yeah.
Which means that a lot of women that were maybe looking today going, I don't know, are now going to be like, oh, maybe I do have a chance, which is fun.
Sunday moving day. Exactly. It's changed.
Cool. All right.
It's not a skill. Like if it were a skill, if there was an obstacle or something, yeah, she'd probably a pirouette. Yeah.
No, maybe not.
Well, she was just like, but yeah, it's okay that it's good that she did just that's good. That's cool.
Completely agree. It's good that there's still extremely competitive times going on at the top of the mountain.
Wozni takes a third in heat 2, and Brooke took a second out of heat 3, right? Fourth.
Lydia Fish was fifth in that heat in 18. Stanley and Spaghetti were in the bottom 8 of that work.
Dallin. Really? You did?
I picked Dallin to win all 3 workouts.
Let me think. So, okay, the snatch, and the last one, it's bike first, right? He's gonna smash that bike.
Bike muscle up lunge. It feels similar to
He
the
won
final
that.
last
Yeah.
year at the game.
I was gonna say. Yeah, that's good.
Dallin should have a big day today.
I don't think he's going to win all 3 workouts, but I do think he'll have a top 5 finish on all 3 workouts.
Who, Dallin?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Snatch. Who are the strong ones?
There's a lot of strong snatchers here. I think
I like Adler.
Adler's a good snatcher, of course. Jason, but he's not that fast for the cycling of 30 reps. Jack Farlow, if he's feeling good, can have a top 5 finish on that for sure. I think Luke Parker might win that workout.
That's
Yeah, Luke's a really good snatcher, and he's also a good squatter. I think he's also a really good pacer. This weekend, he's outpaced a lot of his competitors. So I like Luke on that. I actually like Luke to have all top 8 finishes today as well. We're about to find out. This is probably the. Well, I mean, look, they're all hard. This field is hard, but
He fights hard, so I can see him on the last workout, like pushing it to the
yeah,
limit.
he's probably going to be close to the cut line. So he's going to
Correct. How about Annika?
on the snatch or just in general.
In general today, like older than this one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she crushed that. But man, a lot of the women crushed
I
that.
think
That
she's
was-
gonna be right there on the cut line.
Yeah, I actually think it's hard to say this because she's missed by 1 spot twice before. I think she'll be the last one in or the first one out.
That'll be painful.
Not if she's the last one in.
Well, yes, but if she's the last one out, I really want Tyler Criswell to make it. That's like the one guy that I really, I mean, of course you want a lot of people to make it, but him, I'm like, I really hope this is the time. Because, I mean, he's approaching 35, right? 33?
33 this year. Yeah.
I don't know how many years, like, he wants to keep doing this, and, you know,
In some ways, he looks as good as ever.
he looks good.
And he's obviously, the margins in this region are crazy. You've been super consistent. When you're upside down, can you hear what the MCs are saying?
Yeah. I could barely. Like, it's hard in this event. Everyone's within 10 or 15 seconds. There's no separation because there's no obstacles. There's no nothing. It's how well can you pace the row in conjunction with how well you can handstand walk. I know my handstand walk pace is super slow. So like,
that's
if we were sprinting, like I wouldn't win at all. But like, so I had to use the row to my advantage as much as I could and get to the walk first and then just hang on.
Yeah.
Like I could hear them talking and everyone was in 5 feet of each other, but we all knew that that was going to happen.
And you can't, I mean, you can't make a mistake.
No.
And you're also hearing this. How difficult is it to separate those two, like the physical task from what you're processing?
Yeah, confidence comes through preparation. So like, we've all had 4 weeks or so to practice these. Like, we knew exactly it was going to be sub 8 You gotta not make any mistakes, like one hand in front of the other. Get your best time that you possibly can, and control what you can control, and that's all you can do.
So far, we've seen a lot of athletes with highs and lows. You've been pretty steady.
Yeah.
In the long run, that usually wins out. You feeling good with 2 events to go?
I think 5 and 6 are my best events that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at. I wanted it to be top 10 all weekend to be in that final heat, but I didn't get that, so I just had to make the best of what it is and set a good time. And
still 1 heat to go. You might be when everything dust settles on this one.
Yeah.
The top 2 scores still come from heats 1 and 2, so like things are going to change.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Brian.
Great stuff.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
See you later. No, I mean, that workout has been challenging for a lot of the shorter athletes in the fields in different regions. It really looked like your rowing pace was pretty solid, though. Is that something you spent a lot of time on?
Yeah, we worked a lot on this off-season aerobic capacity machines. I feel like I've improved a lot on that. I've always been a strength athlete, so maintaining strength while getting better at aerobics. So.
Yeah, and there's great athletes in the past in the sport that have done that, so it's cool. Then why not you too?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're having a good weekend. I mean, you're out there in the best heat of any semifinal.
That's where I wanted to stay.
And does it? I mean, when you walk out there every event, is that like you do feel like you belong there?
Yes and no. Nerve-wracking for sure, standing next to some of the best, but all the hard work I've put in seems to be paying off pretty good.
Yeah, 2 events to go. I think people know you, like you said, you're a weightlifter. Excited for the snatch?
Absolutely.
And those dumbbells are heavy. Is that something that you're thinking about? Or you feel good about it?
Those are light.
Yeah.
Well, like Ryan Coleman would say, they're lightweight.
Well, weights have clearly been a strength of yours. The rowing capacity really impressed me there. So good luck with the last 2. But man, it's been awesome to watch you so far.
Appreciate it.
I mean, that was huge for Hatfield. Seriously, I think he was somewhere between 11 and 15. There was a ton of guys right about the 750 mark, but he's in that mix. I thought a top 20 finish would be good for that. He was closer to 10th. As good as he is at snatching, I think he's really in a good spot, especially after just talking to him. He feels good about the lunges, but man, I mean, these guys are coming. The margins are continuing to be smaller and smaller. The workouts are getting faster and faster. Vigneault did a great favor for himself there. Both Christopher and Mayer took an outside top 15 finish, so it's just going to tighten that up. Taylor Self keeps himself in the mix. Luke Parker and Jack Rozema. There's still, after 4 events now, probably 10 guys fighting for those last 4 or 5 spots.
In 2 different heats.
And they'll be in 2 different heats, and obviously 1 spot will come from that last heat. I'm not sure in all of those athletes' situations if it's advantageous to be in the last heat or not. I actually think that there can be some benefit to being in heat 3 for some of those guys. Even just hearing what Austin said, like there's some nerves just looking left, right, and seeing those guys. If you're 11, 12, 13, 14, and you're out there knowing, okay, I have to beat these guys and I have to send a message to 8, 9, 10, sometimes that can be a stronger position. It's like penalty kicks in soccer. You want to go first or second. Most of the best teams want to go first. They want to take control of that. That's what the athletes in heat 3 for events 5 and 6 have the opportunity to do.
Okay. What were you thinking about, Brian?
Details.
Of?
Running competitions.
Details of running competition. Are you ever thinking about putting a B.Friendly competition in place?
Probably not.
It's like this, and like you're on the road a lot of times, like you're at a lot of the different events week after week. Do you ever get a chance to soak it all in, like, just enjoy the moment?
Oh, for sure. Especially these weeks because I'm not really doing a formal job at the competition. Sometimes I'll just go sit in the stands. I'll just watch. And I'm not just watching the athletes, I'm watching all the people I know that are working and volunteering. Yeah, it's important to do that, whether it's during the event, in between them, at the end of a day, in the mornings, even just be grateful. So I try to do that. Sometimes it's hard, but this month it's been good. Last 3 heats, there were 6 women within 6 seconds of each other, and you had the best time of those 6 women.
Oh,
Second
wow.
overall in the event, you beat Lawson by 2/10 of a second, I think. I was close, but 3rd at worst.
Wow. That's great. That's like great news. I didn't even know that.
It is great. I don't hear a lot of people talking about you. Do you know that? Do you hear the silence and everything?
A little bit, like on social media side. I feel like out here I hear my name a lot, and I know like the people that matter to me, like my close family and the people in the audience, they're all cheering for me. So maybe not so much online community, but that's fine. I know what I deserve. So.
And I mean, it can be sometimes that can be motivating. It'd be like, I'm gonna do something so that they have to say my name.
Yeah. No, I'm like that's kind of what my mentality this year is like, I don't need to hear chatter, I don't need to have the most amount of Instagram followers, I just need to put in the most work on what I need to work on. My performance has showed that, like the most consistent competition I've ever had in my life. And I called that before the events, like I was like, every event's good for me, like there's no weakness event, like I'm just gonna do my thing. And so far it's been working, so.
Well, and some people, they see one thing and then it sticks in their mind. And people might be thinking 2 years ago.
The rope climb event?
Yesterday you take a 12th on that. And you know what you've done in the last 2 years to get here, so that's no longer a weakness.
Yeah, no, we've really cleaned up and buttoned up so many things over the year. I started working with David Spur and Brent Fikowski, and I feel like that's just like where I'm supposed to be. It's like a really good team, and I've made massive improvements, and I think my execution is the biggest thing that's like improved over the last couple years or last season with them, and it's really showing in this event, and it's really showing with like my nerves and the amount of fuel I'm able to get in, so I'm really enjoying myself a bit more, especially out on the floor.
Well, obviously it shows the results, the emotion, so great job through 5, 1 to go, but you look awesome out there.
One more!
See you, Shelby.
Sweet, thanks Ryan.
I always try to prove you wrong too, and you had us in 10th this year, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna prove him wrong, but finished 10th.
I don't always like being right.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Dude, and hats off to the competition. These other teams are so
good.
good.
11 teams here. I think we're going to dust that up. We'll all be fine at the game.
Yeah. So
only 8 spots, and it's just tough.
Yeah, and we'll regroup, figure out what's going to happen next season, and go from there. So we'll be back.
And I know if Milford's name's on the lineup, then you can't count him out.
Yeah. Cool. All right, hey, thank you. See you later.
I don't know what it's like being out on the floor for an event like that, but you weren't winning the event until the last rep. How do you stay poised and in your lane and in your pen? I heard you tell Ben, wait for the last 2 bars.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I knew lighter weight barbell cycling, kind of like the first event, was not my partay type thing, and I just knew I really had to stay in my own lane and take that 10-8-6 like as smooth as possible. And this is so random, but a couple years ago there was an open workout where it was handstand push-ups and snatching at 225, and I rushed the snatches, and I knew how many seconds I had to take between 225 to hit the snatch under fatigue. So I knew how many seconds I had to take for 225, and I could speed up as the reps or as the weight got heavier. That makes sense.
And not to me, but that works for you.
But I knew once I could get to the heavier weight, I knew these bad boys were coming to play.
I mean, there's 4 guys from Mayhem in that heat. There's 7 in the last heat. You know, how big is it to be able to like go against guys like that every single day?
I mean, it's what you train for, you know? Like, I try not to, you know, in Mayhem, you compare yourself to the best every single day, just like other gyms as well. And, you know, I would tend to look at myself below a lot of these athletes, so coming out here, it's like, I kind of have a little, you know, taste in my mouth of like, you know, I got nothing to lose, you know, kind of just go for it.
And when it's go time, are you able to kind of strip aside those training partners, those friendships, and just say, hey, at this point, that's the opposition? Or
yes and no. I think because there is Mayhem athletes on the floor, it makes it a lot more fun. You know, seeing like training partners on the field out there, you know, it's fun, man. And when I'm in heats when there's no Mayhem athletes, it's like, all right, I gotta shine for Mayhem. It puts almost a little bit more pressure on me, but man, it's fun. Like I love with Dre and everything. Me and Dre have been going back and forth and training for these events, and it's been fun, man. It's been real fun.
Well, we've had a couple great showings out there. I mean, it's a fight. It's a fight here.
It is a fight. Every single event is a fight.
I know you're a fighter.
Yeah,
see you in the front.
I like to. Thanks, dog. Appreciate it.
Got one more. I gotta push it hard. It's fun to have a battle. It's fun to watch it.
It's a hard battle to win against him on the last one. I'll try it. He hasn't beat me by much on machines this week.
That's true. That workout, this day is just, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. You never know what you're going to get. The snatches are so precise. You see a lot of misses. Every heat, there's a couple guys that have to go for it and miss. And there's a couple guys that have the perfect run and don't miss. Jack Rozema got the win there, and I think I think he's going to be going to the games, like you told us earlier. Adler flipped the script on Roman. I think he was down 12, he'll be up about 12. And around that cut line, I think things are only getting tighter. You know, Luke Parker probably did himself a favor there. Calrone and Christopher are going to drop a little bit. I think Taylor had a pretty good run, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The field is just so good.
girls show love, they live in the hills, do drugs. Want more, now they can't get enough. Got my own thing, got my own scene. I don't do what everybody does, no. Hey, what's up, yeah. What's up, yeah. Hey, what's up, yeah. What's up, yeah. Stop playing, I gotta know what you saying. You telling me you a fan, while you DM me from Japan. You gotta love me, I do this music, put nothing above.
Alexis Ramos. Awesome. Haley Adams. In second place with 123 points, Chloe Govan David. For Caroline Stanley. The 11th qualifying spot with 355 points by 1 point. Lexi Neal. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your top 11 athletes coming by way of the Syndicate Crown. Wells, Haley Adams, Shelby, Neal, Daniel Brandon.
Of getting here since 2018, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it hasn't been an easy journey. I think it's just been putting the work day in and day out and sticking with it, staying dedicated, and then it did pay off in the end.
Going.
You can't. It's devastating for Annika. I mean, but we talked about it. She could break on the lunges, but she failed to rep on the lunges, and that's what cost her there. Either way, I mean, 3 times now, 1 spot out, 1 point in this case. It's hard to watch. You hate it. I mean, that's what this sport has come down to.
Nice.
Is it? Do you think? I guess we have to ask her this, but do you think about your worst place event, or do you think about that most recent event where you're so close, you're in a spot, you just gotta punch your ticket?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million different things that happen in the weekend that you can point to. That one's obvious because it's there, but you know, she told us earlier in the week, my hands are small. And my thought as soon as I heard that was, so take a break. Don't go for it. It's less punishing to take a break. On the flip side, 21-year-old Lexi Neal is going to the CrossFit Games, and that's worth celebrating. This is an insanely difficult field to qualify as a rookie for. Annika, Jordan, Erica, all great in their own regard, and Lexi's the one who gets it done. So as bad as I feel for Annika, it's an incredible achievement for an athlete that hardly anybody was talking about. Last week, I told you, whoever you are, Chloe Gawin David. Are we recording? Yeah. Last week I told you guys that Chloe Gawin David is a woman who could ruin someone's day. You saw her reaction, shocked. But I mean, she's really good. She did this on the last day in the East Regional in 2018, and she did it again today. She only trains an hour a day, she works 2 jobs, and she just beat a hell of a lot of good women. Further up the leaderboard, Alexis wrapped this. You know, it came down to that last lunge for Lawson, but she took the risk I wanted her to take. She went to take second here, which is a big deal in terms of her confidence and her self-belief. She's chasing a podium this year, and that, to me, puts her firmly in that conversation, which was really cool. Middle of the leaderboard, you got athletes like Haley Adams and Brooke Wells finishing 6th and 7th. They could finish 6th and 7th at the games. That's how good this field is.
See where I stay at, 'cause they think I'm selling that A-flat. Hey, what's up? Pour another in my cup. Hop in a whip, pull up, yeah. All of my girls show love, they live in the hills, do drugs. Want more, now they can't get enough. Got my own thing, got my own scene. I don't do what everybody does, no. Hey, what's up, yeah. What's up, yeah. Hey, what's up, yeah.
think it's better to like stop. In my mind, I knew I couldn't stop. I still didn't do as well as.
Okay, well that makes me feel better.
Nail biter. Hi. Thank you. I'm proud of myself.
We love that.
Great job this weekend.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Lots of happenings. Big drama down to the end. What more could you want? Fatherhood, motherhood. Message for the weekend is everybody had fun. And that's all that I care about, is that everybody had fun.
It is important.
And that's new. I think that's really new. I don't think people really focus on that before. And here we are. You can have fun and be champions. Unless you're Jeff, then you're only here to win.
One of those guys, like, you do the quiet work, but if you watch over time and you see the results.
Oh, you know.
I came here this weekend, I was looking in, I was this row, I was just inspire people. I know how you're going to do most of it. But
It's right there.
I told Conroy, I said, I thought Dallin had a chance. Is it really?
3 points, that's it. Yeah, Knoxville. That was close.
But I also said, hey, I said, I'm going to beat Dallin as a wild card. Beating Jeff is no easy task.
There was a lot of machines this weekend. And they all, so most of the workouts started on the machine, which is even worse. Because the guys, they send it for like 20 to 30 seconds. And once they have that little advantage, they sit on it. And you just can't catch up. It's impossible. That happened on the row handstand walk and the bike rope climb workout. They went super hard, but the gap stayed the same the whole way.
Completely blow up. So technically,
I'm gonna have to start more aggressive. That's what to be able to beat them in those workouts. I'm gonna have to start aggressive on the workouts with the machines, which is scary because
you never know how it's gonna affect you 2 minutes later.
Exactly.
Some of those have been some of them.
Another win on the wrestling.
I gave all I had.
That was a good
About to be a
fun one
last year.
Hopefully fun though.
That adds to
It's fun to win, but it wasn't fun until the very last bit.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, that's the most important.
Gotta, like, look up to heaven.
Don't be tempted to touch me though.
No, never.
The girls, they're just like all over me. I'm like, come on guys, you have to take a good test. Feel good?
Feel good. Mission accomplished.
When you crossed that last step over there, what were you thinking?
Crap. Yeah, I asked her afterwards. She said I had a muted hip, and it's just one of those things, you know. I must have had a slip up like last year.
I thought it was a pretty, I'll say ballsy move to walk them back and turn around and just start lunging, but you were confident in the grip.
Yeah. I was ready to go. Adrenaline was kicking in.
I don't want you to tell me anything specific, but do you know right now after this weekend a handful of things that you want to improve before the games?
Swimming.
I said no specifics.
Swimming. Nah, it's a weakness. I'm gonna hit it hard. Yeah, for sure. I think getting well-rounded on everything else. Showed people I could run, so I don't think I need to work on that as much. Just hit everything else. Hit some swimming.
What about on like the pace and your execution side? Are you happy with this weekend?
Overall, happy with making the games. There were a few things that we can improve on. I think I need to get better on the bike.
Will you spend a lot of time in Cookville?
Yeah, as much as I can.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think especially like you and Roman have been training a little bit. Very different skill sets, body types, whatever. But I'm sure you guys will have some fun.
Yeah, we'll have some fun. Me and Luke Parker, he made it in last second. We were in Cookville doing the mocks, and he was like, us three will make a good training team. I'm ready for that.
A little prophecy.
Yep.
Cool, man. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
See you in a couple months.
Thank you.
Great job.
Hi guys, thank you.
I told you I thought he could win. Right. He almost did it. 3 points.
I know. The good thing like with him is like it's not a fitness thing. Just one execution. That's it. And what he hates is that he did it 2 times back to back.
It like fuels the fire a little bit, keeps him hungry. Yeah. It's like it's another win for Jeff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can sit in a little comfortable. Dallin's like. sometimes it's amazing. I mean, this field, it's like Sunday there's going to be heartbreak and there's going to be heroes. And if you're invested in it, it's hard. But if you're just watching, it's really fun.
I'm going to steal that line. Heartbreaks and heroes, dude.
Yeah, sure.
It's pretty good. Now have the full roster.
And it is a stout roster.
Stout.
You know, it's every year you look at the games field and there's usually depending on the year, between 5 and 15 guys that you have this kind of question, men or women, should they really be there? Are there better people out there? I think that number is a lot less this week, or this year. You know, there are names that missed out on qualifying in several regions that you're like, man, I would love to see them there. But when you look up the leaderboard, there's also names that you're like, I'm excited to see them there. It was a tough year for rookies. Like, there were rookies that punched their ticket, but they were extremely well earned, and the talent of the rookie class at the games this year is pretty high across the board. You know, a lot of years there's like one or two that might surprise or really impress. This year I think there's, you know, a majority of the rookies going to the games that are like legitimate games athletes.
Any comments of the strength of field numbers, ranking systems?
Honestly, I think at this point it's kind of, people may not know what's going on, but it's well known that there's conversations being had about the season format and the games allocations, the distribution of regions, online competitions. I would expect that we're going to see some differences next year, and I hope that it's that I don't know if it needs to change or not, but it should at least be considered, because you know you can just watch these competitions week after week, and you can kind of see, wow, you know, I know on paper it looks like this, but when I actually watch it out, like there's a big separation from this group to this group, or there's not a big separation and I'm looking down 15, 20 names on a leaderboard. And I still think that the live competitions need to hold some weight in that system. They do right now. Some other proposed systems, they don't. I think there's a good blend somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I mean, we've been on the road for 3 straight weeks. Patrick and I split up in week 1. We came back together in week 2, and Chad got to join us in the final week here at Syndicate Crown. But across the entire semifinal competition this year, we're just grateful for the support, for all those that believe in what we do, because we're here for the athletes, and we hope that we're bringing good content for the fans. So thank you guys for being with us, and until the next one, be friendly, our friends.